In the chapters that follow, I quote the scientific literature and explain the new discoveries in psychology and neuroscience. I delve into recent findings in genetics and reveal how our genes affect our behavior. I discuss how the new field of epigenetics is demonstrating that not only can our genes affect our behaviors, but our behaviors and thoughts can actually change our genes. My background in treating addiction significantly informs my take on the realities of infidelity. I argue in this book that sex and love are the primordial addictions, meaning our brains evolved to get us addicted to sex and love. These, I argue, are normal addictions. If anything can hook you, it's lust and romance. After all, the survival of our species depends on it. But in cases of infidelity, this irrational exuberance can bring on a truckload of trouble. Understanding our human frailties does not absolve cheaters of responsibility, of course, but it can grant us a new perspective that helps all of us make wiser, more informed choices before we act. This book is about the role that our brains, our minds, or psychology, and our culture play in infidelity. We'll learn from biological anthropologists and sociologists who have studied the development of infidelity through the course of human evolution. We'll hear from psychologists who explain how modern times are rife with sexual triggers, and from neuroscientists who understand how our brains betray us. All these experts together offer important perspectives to help explain how and why we get in trouble with sex, so that we can learn how to better get a handle on desires that lead to destructive behaviors. In Part 1, we will explore the science surrounding sex and infidelity with an intimate glimpse into the brain's reward systems and how they become hijacked, leading us into destructive behaviors that often include pulling us towards destructive choices, even if we don't actually enjoy them. In Part 2, we'll discuss the different ways people stray, by and large driven by human tendencies towards seeking novelty. In Part 3, we'll talk solutions. I'll offer case studies that provide examples of how couples move past an affair. I'll discuss guiding principles to help partners discover their true sexual and romantic potential, unhindered by obstacles like ego and insecurity. And I'll offer practical guidelines to help you avoid or move out of the morasses that have ensnared many couples. Although a book about infidelity by nature points out how love and sex can go awry, the take-home message from this book is that passionate love can endure despite our innate tendency to cheat and our built-in drive to destroy the good in our lives. A little about me. As a psychiatrist, I am disinclined to talk about myself. Yet before I discuss my patients, I think it's only fair to share a little bit about how I began working with infidelity. As a young doctor, I was thrust into treating philanderers because of my dual interest in the scientific study of sex and my specialization in addiction medicine. Philanderer, by the way, is a term that in common parlance is used to refer to men only, but I'll use it in this book to refer to women too, particularly as philanderer in its Latin derivation implies lover of men. Yet long before my professional journey, like many people, my first experience with infidelity was what I witnessed as a child. This book is not at all about my life, but without a doubt, my own experiences have shaped how I understand my patients and their families. My dad co-owned a small meat company in Philadelphia, supplying all the ingredients for Philly's famous steak sandwiches to local restaurants and food stands along the Atlantic City boardwalk. As a company salesman, my dad was rarely home, presumably because he was working so hard. My mother was a devoted wife, kind and joyful, and like many white Jewish middle-class mothers in the 1960s, she dedicated her entire being to homemaking and childcare. My mother's normal maternal worries were made much worse by the deteriorating mental health of my second oldest sister, Meryl, who slowly devolved from a bright, happy child into a hallucinating schizophrenic person. During the next decade, my wonderful sister's terrible illness plagued her. Meryl sought refuge in her room until she could tolerate the hallucinations no longer, and she jumped from her window, 3 stories above, to the concrete pavement. The fall didn't kill her, although the illness...